Good evening, everybody. It's Darby here. I'm going to be playing a game that I've played for a long time. I say that. I used to play it a lot when I was a kid. Then I kind of got away from it. And then I came back to it maybe a year or two ago. And as you can see with the 5 characters I have so far, they're very entertaining. The game is one of those things where it's like you may leave it for a while, but then you'll always want to come back to it because it's just very entertaining. The thing that's kind of annoying about it is a lot of times you need to like have other people to play with, but I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm just a solo character when it comes to things. So yeah, but I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna have a little playthrough. I'm gonna record so that way you guys can watch it with me. And if you like it, you can keep on and subscribe, and we can just explore the world of Middle-earth together. The thing that's kind of entertaining about the game also is it's very in-depth, and there's so much to do. And as evidence, I'm going to go ahead and start now. You have several different characters that you can play. I always like to play the race of men, just because it's kind of a little bit more entertaining to me. You can play like a high elf, which I've never really played them. Some of the people I know who've played them say that they're pretty good, but they have a lot of reduced damage input, but they also have a couple of things that work against them, but other things they have a higher health, and they're also resistant to a lot of illness things that kind of the game will promote. Dwarves, I have never played a dwarf. From what I know, they're slower, but then they also are a lot more strong, and they have the ability to use axes. I've never played a stout axe, never heard of that, or a river hobbit either. I did play a hobbit one time. I think I did a rune master with a hobbit, and they're just super slow, and it's just super annoying to play them. I have played an elf before, but this was years ago. I don't even actually remember much. They're kind of just like the high elf, where they're in a state of where they have kind of a lot more speed and a little bit more resistance, but at the same time they have a lot of things that kind of work against them. You can see here some of the things that they have going against them and going for them. Every race has these things, few in number, might of the wild, natural resistance, and then thick hide. So a lot of times, different characters, different traits. The reason I like the race of men is because they have a lot more of the stuff that promotes their easy access to certain things. Obviously, with will, I think that deters their ability to have some certain amounts of damage. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. They have a lot of stuff where it's if you do teamwork, they have a lot more access to getting healed. They also can be a little bit stronger. And then kind of jumping into some of the other character classes here. So burglar, basically, it's just I found this role to be very boring the time that I played it. It's basically a support character, not exactly something I would play that often. Brawler, I've never played it. It's basically a more hands-on approach where you're going to be fighting a lot more using your fists and stuff. Same thing with the captain. It's more of a support role, though, where you can fight, but a lot of times you're more on the defensive, where you take most of the damage. Champions are the ones where it's they fight a lot, and they're really good at that. Then guardians, again, same thing as the captain. They're much more defensive, and they have a lot more of the armor kind of working in their favor. Hunters use the bow. Their role is damage from range attacks. That's their goal, fighting from a distance. I didn't really like it. I found that ironically more effective when you're playing an elf. Could be completely different. Maybe I'm just not good at the game. Wouldn't be surprised. Lore Master, I play this one a lot just because I love the whole wizard type role. It's one of my favorites. A lot of times their spells can be a little bit more annoying in my opinion, just because sometimes they have a little bit weaker spells, but as the game progresses they get a lot stronger as you go down the roll. Mariner, I've never played it. I know a lot of times they're a lot more hands-on, they have a lot more damage input, but they can also act as a support role where they kind of take some of the damage as well. Minstrel, I've never played that role, but from what I remember with other people that I've played with, they have a lot more healing capacity, they have a lot more instruments that they play, and they kind of delve into the instrument portion of the game. And then of course you have Runekeeper. That's my all-time favorite one. I love playing this one. It's even more fascinating than the Lore Master sometimes. It's a lot of times you practice rune magic where you sit there and you use spells based on the runes that you have, and you get a specific rune, and the more that you fight, the more that they kind of build up their energy to unleash it. Wardens, I have not played them, but they're mostly a defensive tactic where they kind of take some damage, they have shielding, and a lot of times they build up their skills through that. But today, I think what I will be doing, I'm kind of torn between Rune Master and Lore Master. From what I remember, I kind of like the Lore Master just because of the amount of like damage input, and with crafting you can craft a better staff. Runekeepers, I just like them because they had a lot more damage, so I'm going to go with Runekeeper this time. It even says it's moderate difficulty as opposed to advanced difficulty. Not really sure if there's any difference, but who knows? So we'll see how it works. Now, we're going to go with our name. I'm going to sit here and do that. As far as like skin type, I'm a little bit more of a mayonnaise color. Just kidding, not mayonnaise. I'm more of like, it depends on the time of the year. Redheads, we have, well, I guess I'm like a reddish brown hair color, but even so, it's like we're pale, usually a baseline, so I'm a little bit more on the pale side. The head, there's a lot you can do to adjust it, but I'm not going to bore y'all with that because I'll get to that, and I'll show you what I'm doing at the end after I'm done. Alright, we're back. I'm finished with it. This is very much how I kind of look in real life. I wish I was that stocky. I'm getting there. But let's see how this works. Normally I don't ever do the tutorial, but since I'm playing this as a walkthrough, I feel like it's necessary to show what it's like. The other thing also that I forgot to mention is you can start in different areas, like Bree. You can do the Dale Lands. I wouldn't recommend that one just because this one, it's not very entertaining to me. The other thing that's kind of cool about the game is it does give you like abbreviations and like prefixes, suffixes that you can use for your characters. Gondor, I did that once. It's very fun at first, but then sometimes it does get a little bit excessive after a while. But that's just me. Rohan, I've never played it. It's kind of entertaining from what I've watched. You can excel a lot. I think you can also ride horses early, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But I always start in Bree just because I like that start. It's just a very nice way to go. But we'll see how it goes in the end. Let's see if this name actually is taken. Ah, it is. So let's just try it like this. Let's see if that name is taken. Name's taken. Oof. How about if I do this? I wonder if that's allowed. Oh, nope, it's not. What if I do this? Oh, nope, that's not allowed either. Dark E. What if I just do 3 E's? We all know it. You can have that many similar characters in a row. That's a dumb rule. What if I do it like this? Haha! Okay, we found it. Okay, so let's just enter the game. Now, there's a couple things with the game that, if I remember correctly, some of these things, and I honestly don't know how to change some of these things, so if they're on there, just bear with me. They're kind of an irritation, but we'll see what we can find out first.
The chance encounter with brigands upon the road leads to
Oh
captivity.
no, well yeah, it's like right here, but I don't really know how to get rid of it.
As
So
you
you start off the
journey
game,
quickly,
it tells you the like
you
ways to
realize you'll
move.
become
It's the
involved in
typical
matters much
WASD
greater than
movements where
yourself.
W moves you forward, S moves you back, A to the left, and D to the right. You have your chat here. I never chat. I honestly have never figured out exactly how to chat. I don't really care, because most of the time they'll just be sitting there talking about regular jargon that I don't care. However, sometimes you will see some of the characters like Strider who will sit here and talk, and it is important to pay attention to what they say, because then you can sit here and have some good dialogue. The other thing is there's camera movement. Just pay attention the best you can. Same thing here. So you fight the characters, you start like throwing stuff like that. That heals. Your spells are here. This will prompt you to go here, and then it shows you your quests. So you just basically have to follow the quests. You can add them to the tracker if they're not on there, but more often than not, if it's your primary quest, it's going to be on there. So yeah. Talking to him, he'll want you to pick up the satchel. The other thing is right here. It shows you the like stuff right there. And these hints are getting annoying. So gear satchel, loot it, basically. And then what you can do is you go down here. I don't remember which bag it is. There it is. Okay, this will give you all the information that you need, but it also gives you all the quest knowledge that you need as well. So I also have packages. Oh wow, I've been doing this for 2 years. Far out. Yeah, you get fireworks. I've never used them. They're cool though. And then they also sometimes will give you packets of things that are like very useful for like out of combat running speed or attack damage that's increased for a certain amount of time. This is the damage icon, the patched runestone. It's, as you can see, it has more damage. It's 2 to 3 as opposed to 1 to 2, and 2.6 damage per second. It's better to have that because it improves the damage of your items, obviously. So with that in mind, now we can proceed on. You'll speak with him, and I think you actually have to fight him,
Must test your will to fight.
which is kind of a bit of a challenge at first. But basically you can just like beat the everlasting crap out of him by like fighting him like this, and then you do stuff like this and just do stuff like this. It's just kind of very entertaining. So yeah, and then the thing with runes is, so if you look at this dial here, the more it gets to the right, the more healing you have. The more to the left, it goes to more of a battle attunement where you have higher damage. So you want to kind of keep it to where if you look here, this attunes the, if you look at the bottom, it shows attunes 1, whatever that F symbol is, I think. It attunes it to the left. This one will attune it to the right. So if you have that one on and you use that one and kind of spam it, it will create it to where you heal more. So you'll talk to him, and he'll want you to follow him. So let's go ahead and do that now. And then I'm not waiting for him. Well, maybe I am. Okay, I forgot about this. Wow. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, you have to fight a bunch of like these Kelendine captors. So we'll see how they work. They come in, and honestly, the thing I like about, like at the start, it's kind of weak. You do that, and then you can fire this, and then, yeah, that's kind of entertaining. You have to go through here again. Your attunement does fade over time, so be mindful of that. It won't stay forever, so you have that to be mindful of. Or you can sit here and do this, and you can actually fight from a distance. It's kind of entertaining. And do it again. And the thing with some of these, it depends on which attunement you have. I think there's 3 trees that you can do for skills. You will pick one, and more often than not, will pick the fire one or the electric one. It just depends. But yeah, let's just get rid of it. And then you have to talk to this little hobbit.
How do you do?
They defeat Mundo's captors. It's a very intriguing thing. She'll sit here and she just does that, and then I think she ends up burning the place. She's like, oh yeah, that'll get their attention. Yeah, no shame there. I was gonna say another word. I do try my best not to curse, but sometimes they will slip through, so just be gentle with me if I speak. Oh, I forgot she's the one that has to actually release him. Don't know why I couldn't do it, but whatever. Gotta talk to him. You find Strider and Amdir. Now with this, the thing that's kind of intriguing is you have to find him, and if you just saw that flash, then you'll see that there's a certain amount of dread, and if you look up here, there's dread, and it's because we're in the presence of a black rider, or some great form of evil. The thing with that is, when you have a lot of dread, that ends up causing your morale or your health to be much lower, and it also, I believe, will reduce your damage, so be mindful of that when you're fighting very strong characters like this one. So, which we won't be fighting him, but in the future we will fight some of them, so just be mindful of that. Although I think at this point it's not going to be that big an issue. So.
You will not harm these folk.
Yeah. Lots of fun. So then we go in here, and then we're basically told to talk to Amdir, who's been stabbed. It's kind of sad, because I thought Amdir was kind of cool at first, but then, you know, plant food at this point, so... Yeah, that's me right there. Now we can finish this. And it gives you these little prompts here, which is very good knowledge to have.
Ranger Amdir escaped with his charges into the wild.
It kind of tells you the whole thing. I usually skip them because I don't see the point in watching them, because it doesn't really change the outcome of things. So you have this, which it'll just tell you there's dynamics. Just ignore it if it shows up, because it's not really that relevant. Now we need to find some quests, and what she does is she'll start you off with your quests, and basically you have to sit here and do a certain amount of things, and then you go and talk to Amdir, and he sits there and he's like, "So you are aware at last, Darby. You earned your rest, for you fought bravely last night. As for myself, I found a peaceful slumber. The blade of the Black Rider pierced only my shoulder. Though not deeply, I am chilled, but it is no matter. Thank you for your concern, but it is Strider for whom I fear. He is charged with a great task, but he tarries for my sake, and for Archit's." So you have to sit here and talk to him.
There are too many deeds to be done, all pressing.
Yeah.
And
Cool
none of them
stuff.
easy.
I usually prefer robes with rune keepers and lore masters, but honestly, either or doesn't matter. There are different classes of armor. You have light, medium, and heavy armor. We can only pick light armor for characters that are rune keepers, just because I think it's just based on their skill set. I'm not sure. So I'm going to pick that.
You can help, my friend.
And then you'll have to
Captain
talk to...
Brackenbrook
The quests
will
just keep
heed
going
my
and going and
warnings.
going. So they're entertaining. And then they just keep sending you on miscellaneous errands. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, so much work. But it is worthwhile. So...
Why are you bothering me?
Why are you bothering me? I don't know. Why are you bothering me? Yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed with a lot of these quests that you do in the game. They're good, but then at the same time, it's just they're excessive sometimes. So,
Greetings.
yeah. Very fun. And if you look up here, this is your map. The little rings are the people you need to see. And that's part of your quest. So it just makes it easier to find the quest. And if you're a certain distance away, why can I not click on Strider? He's like hidden behind both of them.
Alas for peaceful folk everywhere.
And then we can
It
get
is
some
an
gloves.
enormous task
So now that we did that,
evil
I leveled up! Yay!
intentions
And then now I can do my
commit
traits,
evil
which
deeds.
we'll do that in a
Before you
second.
try to
But then
fight,
you get
you
these
must
things,
learn what skills
you have to
you may from the
specialize.
training.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, where you have 3 different classes. So, you have 3 different ones. You have the healer, the damage, and then the short-ranged instant damage. I like the Cleansing Flame one mostly because this one, it has a lot more damage output. But if you're wanting something where it's like you have a lot more damage in the moment, sometimes the Thunder or Lightning skill set is the way to go. I don't really like to do healing because I think healing is more so like the support role, and if you're going to be doing this solo, which I usually do, you don't need to be healing other people. You need to kind of be more of a kill them quick, kill them over time, that kind of thing. So I usually go with Spec 2, and you'll get points as you level up, and the points go into each of these things. So you have this one. This one gives you a lot more motivation. I don't need that right now because I'm not really in a state where I'm going to be needing a whole lot of damage output. Then you have this one, which adds to, which I believe it is this one. Yeah, that adds damage to that. So instead of being at its baseline, it's up 3%. and then as you rank it up different tiers, it will increase its damage output. This one, believe, adds a new skill to your skill set, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though. But for now, what we're going to do is I'm just going to upgrade this one because that's what I need. And then if you look, that'll, wrong one. That'll give this one a little bit more damage. See, it used to be 11 through 15, now it's 12 through 17. So, gives it a lot more skill, and it's very much useful. So, we like things like that. Over here, you have traits that you'll unlock for different things, different quests. Get these unlocked. I love some of the pictures of these. Like, this guy just looks like Tim Curry from the Three Musketeers back in the 90s. And then you have this uppercut, which it is so weird. Like, you sit there, it's a skill where you can just run to the people and punch them. It's dumb, but I just like how the look at her. She looks like she's getting clocked. And then this guy, yeah, you can actually hold swords with that. I would never do that one. This one just gives you some character traits. This guy literally looks like he's trying to pose for a movie poster or something. But it is a good skill. So all these are skills. You can learn these as well. You have to unlock these slots for them, but you can learn any of them. But different ones carry different things. Like this one gives you wisdom, and it also increases your finesse rating where you're able to evade. This one increases your critical rating and your finesse rating. And then some of the other ones, like determination, increases your damage output, or confidence does the same thing. But you have to wait until you unlock all of them first. So yeah. Now we'll just continue on, and we'll just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a lot of that. The other thing so remember how I was talking about dread? We're in a place where we're kind of in a hopeful situation, so our hope is at 1 instead of being at 0. So you can sit here and have a little bit more of a protective, increased morale and damage.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Yes, you may speak to me for a moment. Yeah. You have to talk to the Runekeeper trainer. I just did. What does she want?
How can I be of service?
Blah, 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 blah. I think she wants me to use it on this, so that's what we'll do. Fiery Ridicule. Yeah, works for me. And now she'll be like, oh my god, you did great.
What can I do?
Very good, Darby. In time you may prove yourself a worthy Runekeeper, but do not forget what you've learned. You get a new runestone. Very good stuff. I can open up my inventory, and I can see I also forgot that I need to equip all this armor that I got, so that way I don't, basically get the crap beat out of me. I'm going to put all this stuff away so that way I remember which one I need to keep and which one I don't. So, this is the one I want. This is the one I don't want. So that goes over here, as does this one. So then, now that we've trained with her, we have to go talk to Strider again. So it's just a lot of going back and forth at first. You don't really have a lot of fights that you participate in. Oh, and then when you're near Strider, your hope increases very much.
Do you feel confident in what you have learned?
Yes, I feel very confident indeed.
Poor old friend.
And then you have to talk to this guy.
A shadow has crept over him.
So,
I don't like the look
loads
of
of
those
fun,
rangers
let me
one
tell you.
bit.
I actually forgot how much I enjoyed this. As for now, I think that's a good stopping point before we go out into the rest of the world to do the rest of our quests. Even though this is the tutorial, it's already been a little bit of time, so I think I'm going to end here. But once again, if you like watching these, feel free to subscribe and support my channel. Yeah, and hopefully you'll kind of pick this game up and kind of enjoy it like I do. But otherwise, that's it for now. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.